The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why the actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's forming a phonic.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. I will say happy Saturday morning. And we're back with the Blueprint podcast, right? And how can I say it? It's just been wonderful. I mean, to be on the Blueprint podcast each and every week, to bring to tell stories, and in the process of telling stories, right? Everybody has a story in their life. Everybody has a process that they've gone through, right? And we're here to encourage each and every week to encourage you, right? That hey, there's no easy. I don't know anybody that's run a race or been a part of something that's competitive, right? That is an easy way. There's always struggle in the midst of progress. So we're here to bring these stories each and every week of lives of people, man, from different backgrounds, different spheres of influence, and they have been powerful. I mean, I hope you guys really, truly enjoyed last week's podcast with Janelle and Chelsea on natural childbirth. They were doulas. And I mean, so many people responded. I mean, in regards to that whole experience. My wife did a wonderful job. She made the suggestion, and it was a wonderful suggestion. I mean, knowing that we have 4 kids, right? We have 4 kids, and we went, of course, successful. We went the natural route, going to the hospital and different things like that. And they explained last week that, they go to the hospital too. It's just that they are there to assist, to coach women who are going through the birthing process and the natural childbirth without medicine, drugs, and just going through a natural birth. And it was very fascinating. I mean, the birth itself is a miracle, and for me to see it 4 times, right, is just still mind blowing, right?
You saw it 3 times.
Huh?
You saw it 3 times.
I saw what 3 times?
Birth.
I saw it 3 times. Yeah, I missed one. When I was still playing basketball, and I missed it, and yeah. But I saw it 3 times, and it's still fascinating. It's still a miracle. I still have no comprehension of how it works, but God is good, right? and then as a man, right, you're not experiencing the actual birth, so I can't even talk about that. But I was there to assist through the process. I know one thing that happened though.
What's that?
Is when she gained weight to have the baby, I gained weight with her. I mean, I don't know how that works, but I wasn't eating any differently, but we was gaining weight, and I was always fascinated by the cravings. I mean, running all over the place and trying to pick stuff up, and in the middle of the night because she had a craving. But that was exciting too. All of it is exciting. So again, thank you guys for your support. If you don't mind, right, liking and subscribing to the Blueprint and following, right, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, and then you can check us out on the PNN network, and also Roku and Fire Stick. You can check us out too on there as well. My good friend Philip Reed, who's in who's in charge of the PNN, the Phoenix National Network, right? You can find us streaming live on there as well, right? And yeah, so let's get rolling. I want to talk about real quickly. Last night we got the opportunity to see our son Lowe's the third in the play. You can see it. Ain't Too Proud. The Temptation, the life of the times of the Temptation. Last night we got to see the show for the second time, right? As they've been traveling all around and doing their thing. Then, if you want to check them out, they got 2 shows today. One at 2 p.m., right? And one at 8 p.m. And then tomorrow at 2 p.m. Yeah, you better get the tickets because they go fast. And we just had a great time last night. And so many people, I want to say thank you to so many people that came out to support. And also to support the State Theater that was there in New Jersey as well. So you see, I got my gear on this morning. My Ain't Too Proud to Beg. What is it? Ain't Too Proud to Beg is the name of the song. Ain't Too Proud, right? And it was exciting. I just said, you know, it was exciting. Got a chance to get there early, get some dinner, right, and then turn around and wait for the show to happen. And we just had a great time, man. You know, Temptations music is just amazing, and it still it has transcend time, right? Things that were going on back then are still happening today, and so the music just carries through time. So, anyway.
And if I'm not mistaken, we're actually going again.
We're going tomorrow. We're at the 2 o'clock show.
Yeah.
You know, we got some people from the from the church coming and friends coming on tomorrow, man. It's going to be another tremendous show. Yeah.
And we got our shirts.
Yeah, we got our shirts. I didn't put my. Oh, you got your shirt.
I got my shirt, but they, I don't know if they'll be able to see my shirt, but I might be able to pull a little trick out my little sleeve.
Yeah. She's gonna show you the shirt she created, right? And all the cast members were like, "Where's my shirt?" They wanted the shirt we did for Lozy, and then they talk about their own shirt, like that. So it was exciting. So let's get rolling. I'm sure she'll find it somewhere down the line.
Well, maybe I'll pop up and see. I'll come on stage with you really quickly and show my shirt. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, where's my shirt? That's my camera.
Yeah, there you go. You got Lozy now in the middle, and all the ones where he was growing up and, singing a little bit and all that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, hey, if you got a dream, man, and nothing's impossible, you just got to be able to dream. And then on the back of the shirt, some of the shirts have, on the front of it has his progression as a young man into, as
I don't think I
can
show my back.
Yeah,
I can show my back.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll put it up later.
Yeah, put it up later.
I'll put it up later.
And then on the back it has a picture of Lozy and the real Eddie Kendricks, right? And side by side, like he's the real Eddie Kendricks and he's playing Eddie Kendricks. It was
we rolled up in our shirts. Everybody was
like, whoa, we want our shirts.
It's like, and the cast was like, we want our shirts. I was like, Lozy, my son is like, this is my mama exclusive. But as I would, my husband would tell you, I made the cast a shirt today. So if I probably won't be able to get it to them for this show, but I think I might just figure out a way to sneak it over to them for the show next week. If I can get them to Rob and Clarice this week, I might be able to pull something off.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe Rob and Clarice will take it over there. So I think I have one picture that might show a little bit of it. I'm not quite sure, but let me see if I can pull that off really quickly. And it just shows all the people that showed up yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's Lozy on his knee there. And we were all there last night in New Brunswick, New Jersey, at the State Theater. So it was nice. We enjoyed ourselves. All right, let's get rolling.
I'm
going to start off with my book of the week. Hey, if you were excited about last week, you're going to be definitely excited about this week's show. And here's my book of the week, right? It's called The Perfect Butterfly. And actually, my wife wrote this book about my son, Isaiah, and which is to your left. And I don't know if you want to tell something real quick about the book. Mm-hmm.
Sure. I remember, my son joined the Long Island Lightning wheelchair basketball team. I think he was probably about 10, maybe. Something
9
like
or 10.
9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coaching basketball, and I couldn't make it to all of his practices. So you would take him, and when you couldn't take him, my cousin Judy, first cousin Judy, would take him. And it got to the point that she would take him to games, she would take him to practices, and some people thought she was his mother, right? And so I said to her, what can I get you? I need to get you something special because you're such a wonder for me. And she said, I asked her, what did she like? She said, butterflies. Oh, I should change my name because I'm Patrice Moore, not Chelsea White. So hold on, let me do that. So she said she liked butterflies. And so I said, okay. So I asked a friend of mine, she was a photographer, she could take some pictures of butterflies. And one day she came to me with all of these pictures of butterflies. She had been driving and she was in the country and they came up behind a purple bush. And she could see the butterflies from a distance. So she pulled out her camera and she starts flicking all these pictures. She's just flicking. So she's so excited. She comes to my office and she puts all these pictures on the conference table. And she keeps taking this picture and she's pushing away to the side. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you pushing that to the side? She goes, oh, that picture just keeps getting in the way. This butterfly has a hole in its wing and it's messing up my pictures. And I busted out crying. She's like, what are you crying for? I said, my son has a hole in his spine. That's the picture that I want. I want the one with the hole in the wing because that represents my son. And she couldn't, she was really blown away. So I took all the pictures and I wrote the story about the perfect butterfly and how when there were several pictures she took and the butterfly's wing, though it had a hole in it, it was sitting on a bush and the flowers came in between the hole and it filled up the hole with the flowers. And I was like, see, that was perfect. That made it the perfect butterfly. And I wrote the story. And everybody and it's really specific to spina bifida. Mm-hmm. I never really released it to Spina Bifida America. People kept saying to me, you need to get this out. People need to see it. When people who've seen it were like, can you do this in another language? Like, it's just such a powerful story. So,
it's a great story.
And so then that's when our godson said, well, what about you didn't write a book for me? And
then the collection comes.
The collection. So that's when the book about children with autism came, and then the children with blind and children who are with heart transplants and all that kind of stuff. So that's what happened.
This is going to be a powerful show. So let me jump into my word of the week.
Okay.
Awesome book, word of the week. It's called Diversity. Right? And equality, inclusion. My guest today, man, we were just having a little conversation about how little we knew before our sons were born. Right. And, we were talking about, he was talking about how so many people still are not aware, right, that there are special needs kids, in our society. We just don't see them. And so we don't see them because there's been no awareness of it, right? And that's what we want to try to do is bring more awareness to every kid is special, right? Right? That we're not gonna look at a kid who's disabled or has some mental situation. We're gonna look at anybody any different. God has blessed us, right? It's our responsibility to take care of those super kids, right? And so diversity and inclusion is key, right? We must learn to love everybody. I mean, I think that's what God's intention for us is that we learn to love one another, regardless of race, creed, or color. right? And this is going to be a powerful show, whether you see it now or you see it later, right? I can't really ever find my ball, but I want to drop my pebble in the pond because I'm expecting a ripple effect of this powerful show. So that's my word of the week: diversity, right? And if you can only understand diversity when you understand love.
And sometimes you don't understand diversity or even the situation when you're dealing with people who are disabled until you end up having somebody in your family that's experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember one day, many, many years ago, I would go to Co-op City, and there was a Burger King over in Co-op City, and they used to have all these kids there, and they would be in wheelchairs, and they would be cerebral palsy, like different types of things. And I would kind of almost look at them like with pity,
Mm-hmm.
Sympathy and pity, and like, oh, like, and then one day I'm the one walking down into Burger King with my son in a wheelchair. You're like, and I get it. It's like, ding, 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 the light bulb goes off. Like, oh man, this is, and I always talk about many years ago at when we lived in Menands, and you gave me a tape of Joyce Meyer, and it was a Mother's Day message. And in that Mother's Day message, she was talking about all different types of mothers and things like that. And then she talked about mothers of children with disabilities, and how special that was for Mother's Day. And again, I'm listening to it with like, oh, isn't that one? And then it becomes me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like when it becomes you, you embrace things differently. And that's why you and Chris, and all of those fathers that we experienced during the time that Isaiah was playing, learned something new. Steve, Steve was really great.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my word of the week. And here is my affirmation. My Pierce Hopper affirmation moment. I begin every day with a grateful heart. I mean, when I wake up, man, and then when you get older, it's just even more, you become more aware of how grateful you are. Family, kids, community, friends, man, I'm just truly grateful. Right, I don't want to get emotional here, but
okay, get emotional.
Yeah. I'm just truly grateful for my life, man, and all the people in my life, and all the people that have come in my life. Right, so wake up every day with a grateful heart. Right, and then here's my music and movie. I should have had a different movie. Right, and I was thinking of a movie. Right. But Kirk Franklin is my music. I mean, he's intergenerational. The next wave, he brought in the next wave of gospel music, and there's so many of them up there. I was listening to a song, and I was thinking about how much joy it gave me, when I listened to a lot of the songs that Kirk Franklin, and how relevant they are currently today. And then
one of his songs that really is powerful is "Imagine Me."
Yeah.
Imagine Me is an amazing song, and it kind of talks about like, imagine me with all the things that I'm supposed, like, imagine me, like that's a beautiful song, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the other songs that I love is Smile.
Smile, yeah.
Even when I smile, right?
Yeah.
Smile.
And so if you have a favorite Kirk Franklin song, I want you to pop it up, man. I mean, yeah. And then the movie Gladiators is so the warrior, the tragedy of it. I should have put, one of the movie I just popped in my head when I thought about the show, as I started to talk about the show, was Radio. That was one of my, remember Radio?
Oh, Radio. Yeah. Cuba
Gooding Jr. Radio. Yeah. I should have had that one up.
Man, that was great.
I mean, there was a purpose in that particular, why I chose that particular movie this week. And because, I'm looking at an upcoming movie. You see that over there, man? It's an upcoming movie. Yeah. There you go, right there. Gladiators 2. And my good friend Denzel Washington, They were talking about on the show how tremendous he is in this, that he's a supporting actor, right? And and they was trying to make a statement that he should be a co-star in this movie. It's coming out on November the 22nd.
Nice.
And then my person of the week.
That one?
No.
No? Mm-mm. Oh, okay.
No. There you go, Steve Serial.
Oh, Steve Serial.
Yeah, remember Steve used to play with the Long Island Light, and of course he the team we're going to talk about and the organization we're going to talk about today. He's always visiting and helping out with the kids. They won another gold medal this year. I remember Steve being in the gym. He was a superstar in the wheelchair. I remember I was fascinated, man, him shooting from half court, and then my son Isaiah and Chris and all them trying to make shots from half court, man. I'm truly amazed what Chris can do on a basketball court.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve and Chris. Although I saw, let me show you this video and I'll talk about Chris in the wheelchair, right?
You can show it now or later?
No, let me just say happy birthday to my brother Curtis, man.
He looks just like Curry's in that picture.
Yeah, he looks just like his daughters. Yeah, definitely. Happy birthday, big little bro. That's my little brother.
Your little big brother.
My little big brother. And I had my brother Doug on before. So let me now show you this video and we'll get into this conversation here.
Sounds like a plan. Video and boom.
Wheelchair basketball is just a great sport.
The New York Rolling Fury play against teams all over the Northeast and even the country through the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. Emma D'Antonio is 12 years old.
I love it. It's so much fun to play because I've made so many new friends from playing the sport, and I love the excitement I get from going up and down the court.
Just like any sport, if you want to be a great player, you need to practice a lot. The Rolling Fury practice together each week, but the players also spend time on their own, improving their skills.
I take time out like after school to go shoot around or like go to the gym and work out and stuff.
I also practice either after school with my friends if they're playing, or I just practice by myself after school.
Kids as young as 5 years old play with the Fury all the way up to age 18. The Fury are split into two teams, a prep team for 13 and under, and then a team for 14 and older. Judah Scarborough is one of the younger players on the team.
I've been trying to block, and I've been trying to shoot the ball in the hoop.
The rules for wheelchair basketball are similar to typical basketball. Coach Christopher Bacon explains two of the differences.
There's no double dribble, so you can dribble, stop, put the ball on your lap if you wanted to, and give yourself another two pushes. You can't crash into people foot plate to foot plate, they call it, front to front. You have to angle your chair to stop another player.
Coach Bacon got involved with wheelchair basketball because one of his sons played. The games can get very competitive and physical.
Most of my friends think, it's just here and there, you make a little contact, everyone lets you shoot, but it's really not. It's you bang into people's chairs, you end up flipping, you get fouled.
Something that a lot of people think is that wheelchair basketball is a little bit softer than able-bodied basketball, but in my opinion, I think wheelchair basketball is probably way more intense than able-bodied basketball, because when you're just using your arms and not your legs, so it's just you have to dribble the ball, turn your chair, stop your chair. It's just a lot to do.
Because it gets so competitive, the chairs used for wheelchair basketball have tilted wheels to help protect players' hands and fingers. To learn more about the New York Rolling Fury, log on to nyrollingfury.org. The team is also on Instagram and Facebook.
Wow. Welcome to the Blueprint Podcast. Coach Christopher Bacon, Senior. Well, we got to say Senior.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so, right out the box, man, tell us you're and it's an hour difference. You're in Texas?
Dallas, Texas. Yeah, Arlington, actually.
Arlington. Oh, yeah. So tell us right out the box. is going to kind of set the tone for it. Why are you in Texas?
I accompanied one of my seniors to his college visit, official college visit, where he's going to be hopefully going to college here next year, and hopefully he'll be signing here today with a full scholarship. So.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, and I Chris, I gotta say, man, let's talk a little bit about. I'm gonna share mine first, but and as quickly as that, I was in taking Isaiah up to his appointment. I think it was the Carver Center in White Plains, New York, at the time, and I took him up there, and he was being evaluated by all the doctors that were seeing him, and happened to see one of the guys up there that normally you see. And another wheelchair guy that he had met, and starting to become friends, and so he was in the doctors and with the doctors, and then Isaiah, of course, when he was coming out, he said, "Man, I got to get out of here. My mom is outside. I'm going to basketball practice," and because up to that point, man, we didn't really know, what Isaiah was going to do. And let me say that the Carver Center at that time did a wonderful job in helping him to become independent. And so when we heard him say basketball, I was like, basketball practice? It was like, what is that? And what do you mean? And so he gave us the information and stuff like that. We talked to the mom, and next thing you know, we were up at the Cerebral Palsy organization on a Saturday morning, where we were introduced to so many people who had disabilities.
Yeah.
And there were different levels of basketball being experienced there. Somebody who was being pushed, right? Somebody who, it was a 2-foot basket, 4-foot basket, 6-foot basket. And of course, Isaiah had the ability to push his chair, so he had to started out on the little low basket, and then as he gotten better, he had to go. He started. He started out right away. He started at the big basket right away. But that was my experience in regards to being introduced into this world of wheelchair basketball.
What were they called again?
The not the Lightning.
No. They were Cerebral Palsy at Westchester, but there was something. They had a name for them. I forgot.
There was actually 3 of those schools that had very similar programs. One is still going. The Viscardi School.
Wharton.
And then there was the Westchester one, and I forgot what the other one was.
Viscardi. Wasn't it Viscardi?
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Yeah, Viscardi,
yeah. So talk about
the program.
Yeah, they still running it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about your experience into this whole situation.
Yeah, so I had taken Christopher to this thing called the Empire State Games for the Physically Challenged, which is a whole bunch of like track and field events. They have archery, and it was just a great time, and just thousands of other wheelchair kids competing in racing and club throw, discus throw, ball, throwing a heavy ball and stuff like that. And it was just one event each year. And I think the second year we were there, we just rolling around, and this group of people came up and said, "Hey, I want to play wheelchair basketball." And we were like, "Heck yeah." And it changed his life forever. Mm-hmm. He instantly fell in love with it, and changed his whole perspective on life. And I am forever grateful for the program that was there at the time, and what it's done for his life. So sorry to get so emotional about it, because
I was having my. We're gonna be having our moment all the way through this show. So
it wasn't until he was 14 until it found us.
Yeah.
and it was a long time coming. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And,
We're going to have a lot of emotional moments today. I mean, it brings back some very powerful memories. And
Yeah.
so talk about, Chris, talk about you and, you know, kind of growing up and you know, with your family and its importance to the field of education and the importance of family, the field of education, and also, you know, you got to have faith out there sometimes. And
Oh,
so talk
100%.
about growing up and
Yeah, I grew up in northern New York, and I'm the middle of 5 kids, so always fighting for attention, you know. And you know, I grew up in the country, and I was the first kid in my family to actually go to college. So, you know, education is super important, and you know, to get ahead, and you can't, you know, you can't change your life without education. You know, you can't have a positive life without it, you know.
Mm.
And both of my boys went to college. I have twins, and they're living beautiful lives now, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
But you know, talk about that the experience as you're growing your family, your wife, and you guys are growing the family, and then because I know how traumatic it was when we were talking about it on the show last week because we had a show about natural childbirth,
yeah.
and my wife and I was sharing our experience last week on when Isaiah was born. I mean, you know, the other 3, and then Isaiah was born, and then him happened to be, I guess, medevac to another hospital, and then the disconnection between a mom just sitting in the hospital and the child's gone, and I'm driving a car to go to a hospital.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, talk about that because that
that was a shocker because my wife having or being pregnant with twins, she would get exams, you know, every couple weeks or so, and it was a total surprise when they pulled Christopher out and his legs were wrapped up underneath him like this, and he could only move his toes, and they were born a month early, and they weren't medevaced out. They both went by ambulance from Huntington Hospital to the main Northwell Hospital in Manhasset. So same thing. My wife's sitting in the hospital, and I'm off to off to another one. So
Now, did they take just Chris and the other baby stay with her, or they both? Boys
no, they actually took both because they were a month early, so they needed help. They went into the NICU, both of them, because they couldn't breathe on their own.
What was your other son's name?
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now I mean, yeah, those
curveball.
yeah, curveball. But again, for both of us, we had we became aware that our children could, had all these options. You know, it wasn't just basketball, like you say. It was the Empire State Games, which is a mini Olympics in the state of New York, right? And but they had it like the Paralympics is like it was their Paralympics.
Exactly.
And then you see so many kids that are, man, just go-getters, man, just trying to doing their thing, and they are doing their thing, you know, to be out there. So it was not just basketball. I mean, they could have did track, rowing a boat. I mean, they could have done anything.
Chris, I want to say that I remember something that it triggered me when you talked about the Olympics. I mean, the Empire State Games. So I went to the Empire State Games with Isaiah, and Lowe's didn't go.
Well, I was there. I think I dropped him off and you came. I had a meeting.
Yeah, you weren't, but he wasn't there the day that I met Mark.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mark did the same thing. Like Isaiah had hit the winning shot or something like that, you know, a long shot, long range shot. And Mark came up to us after the game, and to me, and he told me, you know, about the Long Island Lightning. And he said, you know, he told me that, you know, he could get a scholarship, he could go to college. And it was just the furthest thing from our mind, you know. And I remember telling Lowe's, and he did just what you did. He started crying. He was like,
I was driving my car. I could barely drive the car.
He was like, what do you mean he can play college basketball? What do you mean? Like, we were so clueless.
Totally
we were so
amazing.
clueless. And, you know, Mark came and brought the Long Island Lightning to us. And, you know, and we were part of the Long Island Lightning family for many years, all the way up until Isaiah graduated high school. And it was just amazing. I think I have a couple of Long Island Lightning pictures here to show you
There
guys.
we go.
Yeah, there go Christopher. He's I don't know. He's to my left or right, whichever one.
He's holding the plaque.
He's holding the plaque on the side there. But
Yep.
yeah, and we all. Yeah, we all got a chance to, you know, as you see, I was helping out the coach eventually. I mean, and Chris was coaching. We all was coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all coaching there and stuff like that. So, yeah, there was just an awesome time. So, yeah, that was a great time, man. I mean, it was just, it's just the awareness. I mean, how we were talking before you got on about how many people are unaware, right?
And that's amazing, you know. Even kids with parents with disabilities. I mean, we're doing a pretty good job of getting the word out, but we still need help. And doing podcasts like this is a huge help.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we were engaged. We were fully in, right?
Yeah,
and I remember parents coming to visit, you know, bringing their kids to visit, because we both know it's a serious investment. I mean, and you know, same as your child, your investment in your child who is an able-bodied kid, right? You're gonna take them all the practices, all the AAU. Yeah. You're gonna put exactly. You're gonna spend the money to invest in time. And I think that the sad part for me was to meet so many parents and be able to tell our story to those parents, right? And then still parents not see why they should make this investment, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and we had a hard time getting kids.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
For a long time after I took over, it was a battle getting kids and having parents see what we're doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we have things rolling. Like, you know, we graduated 6 seniors last year. They're all playing college ball this year.
Yes.
All on scholarships. But that, you know, at the end of the season last year, when I knew that they weren't going to be coming back, I was a little worried about fielding the varsity team this year, because a couple of them had been with me for 5 and 6 years. And sure enough, at the end of the season, 1 kid comes, 2 kids come, 3 kids come. Before you know, I have 7 kids on varsity again. And we have like, probably 16, 17 prep age kids that we have in the program. Wow. And some of our prep age kids now that started so early in life, like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old, some of them have been playing already for 5 years and have some wonderful experience, you know. So I'm actually bringing some of them up to varsity this year to help, you know, fill in the gaps from an experience, you know, from an experience side.
Yeah, no. And I remember going with you guys, I think it was a few years ago. You guys went on, what was the show you guys went on? It was nice. Dr.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz. Yeah, I went down.
Yeah.
I was down there with you with Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
You guys were on the show for Dr. Oz. That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it was.
I got a chance to come down, and you had moved the team. Now, talk about because one side, Isaiah and Chris, and going on to college and different things like that, and talk about the transition from one team and starting, and the mission and starting the next team.
Yeah. So, just like last year that happened, that was a year we graduated 5 or 6 seniors, and we were pretty much decimated. And back then, the internet's not what it is. We didn't have contacts in the physical therapists and the occupational therapists that we have now. So I decided to bring the team into the city rather than just practicing out on Long Island, just because I knew there was a lot more kids in the city. And a lot of the kids in the city don't have the transportation that kids in the suburbs of Long Island and Westchester have, So just to make it easier for more kids to get to practice, we brought the team into New York City, and we were practicing in Manhattan, and now we're practicing in Queens, in the Bronx, and sometimes in Brooklyn. So that was part of the way I wanted to transform the team to get more athletes available and make it easier for kids to come to practice on a regular basis and stuff.
Yeah. And many people out here will hear the basketball side of it, right? But it's a tool. It's an instrument and a tool. I will never forget, and I do speaking in schools. My wife do speaking in schools all the time, right? And we always ask the question, regardless of what level of school they're in, elementary school, middle school, high school. Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I don't know how many times we went to nationals, and I think it was Colorado.
Yep.
It was like, I don't know, 2,800, 30, wherever it was in terms of the number of kids who were participating in the wheelchair national basketball. I asked the kid, I don't care what their age was, hey, what you gonna do when you grow up? A little girl be like, I'm gonna be a nurse. They just knew what they wanted to do, and they would, special needs, but they knew what they wanted. They knew they wanted to graduate from high school. They knew they wanted to go to college, and they knew exactly what they wanted to be. And it's always strange to me that somebody who was able-bodied who didn't know. Right. And this should be my message going to the classes. Like, you should have an idea. You should be dreaming about doing something.
Having a goal.
Yeah. So I commend you in regards, because it could have been done. You could have thought about your kid and said, okay, he's in college. Right. He's in college. Yeah. We completed, but you kept going. Right. And I commend you for that. And for that reason, so many kids are getting the opportunity, man. It was, my friend Fred Brown. Now, you remember Fred.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great guy.
When Fred, he said, look, I want to honor you in Rucker Park, right, this summer. And he said, we're going to have the high school games. He said, we're going to have all these games, but the main attraction is going to be the wheelchair basketball game. And he mentioned the Rolling Fury, and he mentioned you. I said, man, my son played with Chris' son, right? But I knew you were still doing it. But for me, for him to highlight the wheelchair, and you were the last game. And everybody stayed around and they watch you guys play, because now they become aware.
Right.
It's
something
wow.
you don't see every day.
No, you don't. And I commend them for that. And then you and even you brought back some of the guys, from the past to play. Isaiah came and played,
Yeah.
and and I got to like, wow, I played at Rucker Park growing up, right? And then here's my son is playing at Rucker Park. Nobody knows how wild, how amazing it is to play at Rucker Park, and who stepped on those grounds.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's an amazing place.
it's an amazing place. I was happy for you guys. And the kids were having a ball too. I mean, their parents was even having more fun. I mean, it was exciting. But no, it was great. So I have some pictures. I mean, we didn't, some wonderful pictures. I mean, you guys are doing some amazing stuff here, man. We can go down to a few. Yeah, that's tell everybody about this. When you said that the NWBA 2024. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was at Nationals this year and last year. It's in Richmond, Virginia, thank goodness, because the last 4 or 5 years it was in Wichita, Kansas, which is in a wheelchair, impossible to get to. You can't. It's very difficult flying anything other than a direct flight to tournaments, and so we'd have to fly into Kansas City and then drive 3 hours to the tournament, which was very rough. So thank goodness this was just a drive, or you could fly there, but the drive's not so bad. So, and I've been doing this for 12 years now, believe it or not.
Wow.
Time has flown. And I've picked up a couple of awards on the way. I got Coach of the Year once. And this year I got the Dave Rubick Legacy Award. I guess for doing it for so long. But we've together with my my prep coach Chris Noel, we've made the Rolling Fury a perennial powerhouse. Our prep team last year came in third place in the nation out of about 46 prep teams, and our varsity team came in fourth out of about 55 or 56 varsity teams. So the NWBA has grown considerably since our boys played, and it's a really great. And we travel a lot for tournaments. Like this year we have, or last year we went to Charlotte, which we're going back this year, Atlanta, and we have been going to Whitewater, Wisconsin for a tournament there, but got snowed out last year. And we went to Dallas. Just because it's great just to play other teams that you wouldn't normally play unless you happen to see them at Nationals. And the other good thing is the Dallas tournament is held on the campus of UTA. So it's better for our kids to be seen by the college coaches and getting recruited. The Atlanta tournament, teams from the coaches from Alabama and Auburn come. Okay. The Whitewater, Wisconsin tournament is on the grounds of Whitewater, Wisconsin, where one of my boys is going to college now, and the coach from Illinois goes to that too. So that covers most of the college programs. They get to see him other than nationals, so, and in my opinion, it's a big deal. Plus, it gets kids out of the city too. Gets them. They learn how to get through airports and the whole rental car situation and all that stuff, and how to get into a hotel, and it's all good stuff. There's our prep team.
Yeah, that's the prep team there.
Yep.
Yeah, they won. You was talking about 1 3rd place.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and it is no, it's exciting to see the growth of the Fury, right?
Yep.
Because you had a few players when I think you were down in the recreation department, right? And
Yeah.
you were part of the recreation department, and that was one of the things that we had. One of the biggest problems with was finding. I don't know why. Is finding
space.
finding facilities to hold practice. I mean,
it is.
when we were at the Lightning, it was like that. We would have a nice place, and it lasts a few weeks, and then next thing you know, we were in. I was thankful for it. That what was it? The hospital we were in. That
Yeah, and, I think it was Nassau Community Hospital gym or something like that. It used to
yeah,
be
that
like,
was. We used to slide around that gym. I mean, you couldn't even walk.
There was so much dust in that joint. I had to go somewhere. I was like,
Yeah, man. and
hey, but adversity builds character, man.
yeah, well, a little less adversity. and I know that I was showing some of these all these pictures of the teams, because at the end of tournaments, it's explained like, every community that kids are in, like we have with normal basketball, right? And I go play, if I'm in Mount Vernon, I'm gonna play White Plains, Yonkers, New Rochelle. We got our local group. Well, there's no local group. So talk about what you have to do to have a schedule in a season. Talk to people about how that works.
Yeah, that's not easy because, a lot of people don't have money to travel. So we have to raise, a considerable amount of money to make things happen. And sometimes we have not even have had to pay for practice courts. Getting back to what you were saying about, the challenge of finding, practice facilities. And thank goodness the last few years we've had the good graces of the being able to use the gym of the College of Mount St. Vincent in the Bronx. Absolutely beautiful facility there, and thank God that they were able to let us use the gym.
that's right off Riverdale, right?
Yeah, very very beautiful place there, and but yeah,
is that the home of the Fury?
No, we really don't have a home. But
we need to get a home for the Fury, right?
That's like priority number one is trying to find a home. We're big enough. We're a community now. We're spread out. We have kids from every borough in the city: Westchester County, Nassau and Suffolk counties, Southern Connecticut, and New Jersey. Because way back when there was a New Jersey team, but guess what? When the kids went to college, they closed the program down because the parents didn't want to carry on like we did,
Right.
So
it's the challenge. It's the challenge of having a home gym, right?
Yeah.
And then the challenge is that they're not like 7 to 8 Fury teams that you can go compete against. So then you gotta what? I mean, we call tournaments, right? So
the only place we actually play games is against the Ryan Martin Foundation team up in Hartford, Connecticut, because it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Right.
So we'll go up there and we'll play, 2 or 3 games in one day and come back. But everything else is a tournament. Philadelphia is a tournament. We just came back from a new team called the PA Lions out in Manheim, Pennsylvania. The prep team went 4-0. The varsity team went 3-1. But then, so next weekend we're going to Rock Hill, South Carolina. So most of us are driving.
We
I'm
love Rock Hill.
Yeah, Rock Hill. We got one of our sons out in Rock Hill, South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Omar is out there.
Yeah, and that's a nice drive. I rented a 12-passenger van and basically filled up with kids and chairs, and we drive down there. Nice 10 or 11 hour drive.
Right. So I mean, a lot of people are going to hopefully see this. We're going to keep talking about this. But how they donate?
They can go right to our website. We have a link to donate there. It's online. They can donate with a credit card, or if they don't like using credit cards and stuff, they can mail us a check. And our address is on there as well.
Give us that information.
Our website address is nyrollingfury.org. And if they wanted to get a hold of me, our email address is New York spelled out, rollingfury@gmail.com.
NY, the first one, NY, Rolling Fury?
Yep, .org.
Okay. .org. And let's just that up there really quickly.
Yeah,
and the second one is to get in touch with you, to email you?
Yep, and that's New York spelled out, and then Rolling Fury.
Is it New York? New York is a space with New York?
No, it's all one masking of the word.
New York. Say it again.
Fury.
Rolling Fury.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's out there. Remember, this is interactive. So if you got any questions for Chris about the program, this is a website and where you can donate. And if you want to get in touch with Chris, his email is going to be up shortly. I think you see it at the bottom down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have kids from 5 years old to 18 with many different disabilities. We have amputees, spinal cord injuries, spina bifida, cerebral palsy. You basically name it. We have kids on the team or have had kids on the team. Cancer survivors. Steve's actually a cancer survivor. Steve Serio.
Wow.
And and his success. He's an awesome guy. He, like you said, he still comes down to practices and stuff, and the kids love to challenge him and play against him. It's funny to see, but it's really quite awesome.
Yeah, that's Steve right there.
Yeah.
USA men's wheelchair, 2-time Paralympic gold medalist. I mean, yeah. So
3-time now.
3-time.
3-time. Yes, 3-time now. Yeah, 3-time.
And not only that, he's the captain of the team.
Yeah, they were talking about him a lot on the thing.
they were talking about Steve. He's amazing, man.
Shout out.
And of course,
a huge positive influence to the sport. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and of course, Steve was.
He gave Isaiah one of his chairs.
Yeah, he did.
That's funny. Aiden has one of his old everyday chairs. So it's not just sports chairs he gives back. It's his everyday chairs as well.
Yeah, he was my person of the week. This is Steve right there. Yeah. I remember meeting Steve when what's the one we were in Amityville at the what's the college? That was the first time.
Was it Farmingdale or?
Yeah, it was Farmingdale, and I remember meeting Steve, and we were having a little shootout. He was in the wheelchair, and I was in the. I was standing up, and shooting shots and stuff like that. So, I always amazed at how talented, all these kids are, and how excited. I've never seen so much excitement.
It's what this sport does for kids is totally amazing for them. I have kids come in. They won't say a peep because they're so afraid. They're in their little shell, and then, weeks later they start opening up and, before you know it, they're yelling at you.
Yeah.
Pass me the ball.
I mean, just the whole experience from, not, the apprehension, not knowing if I'm gonna do anything, to now getting on the court and
huge confidence booster.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you see that personality. That personality comes out.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Some of the anger comes out too. I mean, it's a good place to get rid of the anger.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I thought was interesting too is how many times you saw players that that played against you. They became your competitor, and then they became your teammate.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
No.
And the lifelong friends from all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place, man. Yeah, and then we got some, like some team shots.
Yep.
Little
action shots there.
Little action shots, man.
Yeah.
If they're watching it, they'll see themselves on the,
and these kids, you can see Sebastian down here on my lower right. Like, look how little his arms are. He's got little stick arms. That's when he first started. and now look at him in the middle of the screen here.
Oh yeah.
It builds strength, and with strength it builds confidence.
Yeah, he's up in right underneath the picture. He's got his arm. Yeah, he's a couple of pictures up here with his arms all strong man looking.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now he's playing. I just watched him play for University of Illinois, actually where Steve went when he went to college, and he's playing amazing.
Wow, I call this the shot.
Yeah.
You see it. He's throwing it, and you see the progression of the shot. All the way to the basket till it goes in. Right. I call that the shot.
Yep.
And then here's some other Fury players.
Yep.
And
that's Aiden with the white tank top up there with still has his baby fat.
yeah.
But now he's shed his baby fat, and he's a muscular young man now.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
There's Matt Scott.
Yeah. Now he's on the USA team.
Yes, he a past Paralympian.
Wow.
Gold medals, silver medals, and stuff.
And I like it when guys come back.
Yeah, he actually him and the Hartford Insurance Company have teamed up in the last 2 years at Queens College. They've given out, I think, 100 chairs.
Wow.
Sports chairs. Some club chairs that we've been a recipient of that we're very grateful for. And mostly, new kids to the sport. The reason why we have club chairs is because we have, brand new kids that want to come down and try the sport, but they wouldn't be able to try the sport if we didn't have club chairs.
Right.
We try to fit them in as best we can, but as soon as we get them into the chair, we're trying to get them a new sports chair that actually fits their body perfectly, because it helps them excel in the sport.
Wow. Yeah. No. And then we got going through some drills.
Yeah, one of the first things I try to get the kids to do is dribble with 2 basketballs. And the reason I do that is if you can dribble 2 basketballs really good by yourself, if you're on the court and you have the ball playing against somebody else, you have to focus less on dribbling that basketball, and you can focus on getting up the court, passing the ball, seeing options to pass, and stuff like, and getting out of when you're stuck, navigating through 3 players like you saw on that video where Aiden was able to navigate through 3 players and then lay up the ball for a basket.
Yeah, no.
We kind of break the season into like 3 parts. One is obviously the season, but then we give the kids about a month off, and then we go into individual skills, getting stronger, and then as the season starts to come around, then we start doing a lot more team tactics and things like that. But getting them to be stronger is a huge deal, because in the past we've gone up against some teams like they're physically stronger, so it's like men playing against boys. And even if we're better tacticians with the ball and passing and team tactics, it's hard to beat muscle in strength and speed. So
Right.
if you can add strength and speed to your individual and team skills, no one's going to stop you.
Right. And I tell you, is it still where the boys and girls play on varsity together?
Yep.
I'll tell you, them girls are some mean rascals, man. I mean, like
You have to be. You have to be.
I remember when Chris and Isaiah, them girls was rough. I was like, the guys are like, they were a little passive, but them girls,
Right.
I mean, you go up with girls, they were mean.
They'll eat you up if you're not careful.
That's right. You cannot play wheelchair basketball with girls because they will get you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I told Isaiah, I said, look, man, that girl, she's a basketball player. You can't look at her, she's a girl.
Exactly.
She knocking you out your chair, man. You need to be doing.
I remember the first time
inspiring.
Isaiah played. Was it Carlos? What was his name of the kid? Was it Carlos?
Yeah, Carlos.
Carlos played he played for us, but before he played with us, he played with some team. And I remember one day Isaiah was out there and he didn't have the rounded wheels. He had the regular wheelchair. This is before we were really sophisticated and know about that, right?
Yeah.
And he went to go get a ball, and his father was wheeling Carlos, and he wheeled into Isaiah's fingers, and Isaiah dropped the ball, and I wanted to fight. Forget the girls. I was going to kick his tail. And Isaiah's like trying to grab the ball. He went, boom, ran that chair right into his hands, and Isaiah couldn't grab the ball, and he's sitting there, and I said, I'm going to fight him. I'm definitely going to. Man, when they finally became teammates, I was like, I was bitter. For a minute, I was bitter. I was like, oh, okay, you will roll your chair into my son's hands. He's like, he needs to learn how to play the game. I was like, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, no. Hey, wheelchair. Have you seen in the video? My man was like, wheelchair. I think it's a little bit more tougher than able body. This like a car crash. I mean, we'd be crashing, and when people see it for the first time, and they see a kid get knocked over. They're first in shock. Oh,
100%.
Yeah, and then when they see the kid,
to watch people.
Who was the one that had his hand on the wheelchair just now, like was upside down?
Oh,
he used
Fabio.
Fabio.
Oh, yeah,
Yo, he used to
Fabio.
freak people out because he used to be upside down, hand walking with the wheelchair up in the air.
Yeah.
Fabio was like, oh my
I love
God.
Fabio.
Yeah.
What is Fabio doing, man?
I believe he's like an Uber driver or something like that, but he's also in crypto and stuff. He's doing good. We
Man,
keep in
look at
contact.
That's what you were saying. That picture.
There
Trish.
you go.
Yeah.
Look at his shoulders.
What?
When he was a little guy. Now he got muscles and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
so
just goes
that's
show you
cool.
the transformation. You
Yep.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, he was with me for 6 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I cannot imagine. First of all, I could not imagine Fabio driving an Uber. No more. Hold on, time out. I had to come back to that because he was the craziest guy put in the wheelchair. He was wheel on one wheel sideways, flipping in the wheelchair, right? And then I used to watch him throw his wheelchair in the car. I said, who gave him license? I mean, come on. And then he tear out the parking lot, and now you say he a Uber driver. I'm like, you get in the Uber driver with him, man. You be like, you're in for an adventure.
He's probably just waiting for someone to jump in the back of his car and say, follow that car.
Yeah. And here goes some more pictures.
Yeah, this is Emma. She's I think she's 11. She's already been playing for 3 years, and that's Mustafa. We call him Moose,
Wow.
and he's been playing for about the same time too. Maybe a one more year, but those two are just fantastic athletes.
Wow.
And I'm pulling these two up. They've already played varsity this year.
Okay.
So those are two of the 4 kids that I'll be pulling up for varsity when we need help.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, and you got Coach back there, right?
Yep. Coach Noel. Huge help.
And then
Yeah, and so that's Aiden on my left, Sebastian in the middle. He's going to University of Illinois, and that's Kenny Gonzalez. Yeah, he was with me for 4 or 5 years too, and now Kenny's going to University of Whitewater in Wisconsin.
man, I don't know why he chose there. Great school. Love the school.
The weather.
But when me and Isaiah got there, it was so cold the GPS went out. We ended up with a flat tire on a rental car.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and
what
then
about the ice storm? Wasn't there an ice storm?
ice storm. Then we slid into the parking space. I mean, literally just I drove in the parking lot and just started sliding. Car turned around and landed in the parking spot. I was like, we got to get out of Whitewater immediately. This is not good. I mean, even we drove out from Whitewater, Wisconsin, and drove back to Chicago.
Yeah, that's usually what we would do when we go to the tournaments there.
Yeah, Chicago was warm in comparison to Whitewater. I don't know who would want to go to school there at that time. You know, I mean, and Erie's not. It ain't a safe place either. I mean, going to Erie, Pennsylvania, we went once, and we got in the snowstorm.
Yeah, that'll never be a trip that I go on again.
Huh?
It's nice to go there in the summer.
Oh, I told Isaiah, like, after we went to the Christmas tournament, I said, we will be back to pick you up in spring.
Good luck.
We're not coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Zach Delgado. He now plays for the RMF team up in Connecticut.
Who's the young man that you're at college with today?
Aiden Prasad.
Oh, that's the one that you just showed his picture?
Yeah, he was on the. Yeah, he's on my left.
He's looking. He's the ball is just in the air, right? And
yeah,
off the ground. I seen him play at the Rucker. He's really good.
Yeah, he's
talented.
He's one of the top 3 prospects out of this class this year, along with 2 kids from the Lakeshore Lakers who have won the national championship the last 2 years, and really, really good kids.
The Lakeshore.
He's probably the best ball handler in the country right now in his class.
Wow.
And that's Logan. He's one of our double amps. He's been playing for 3 years, I think.
Wow.
And that's William. He's one of our prep players. He'll be coming up to varsity next year.
Oh, awesome.
He also does boxing.
They got wheelchair boxing too?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I guess it's nothing.
There's literally, there literally is nothing. There is no other, there's obviously there's racing that's been around for a long time. There's wheelchair tennis, wheelchair football, wheelchair soccer, although I haven't really seen that. Handball. Fabi's trying to get a handball thing going.
Wow.
And he's pretty amazing at it. It's because he's so fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting back.
You even got some shoes, man.
Yeah, some. Aiden's sister Leah made Coach Noel and I those shoes.
That's cool. Oh man,
You know what? What's the most important thing, Chris? It sounds like you're having an absolute ball.
I love it.
And Lowe's always says, if you're doing something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
100%. That's facts.
Yeah.
Yep. There's Pat Anderson. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's a Canadian national player. Arguably one of the best players ever.
I think he
he's
was
with-
on the Roller Knicks, right? He was on the Roller
Yeah,
Knicks.
he's on the Rolling Knicks. Yeah, he played
when Isaiah was.
Yeah, with
pl-
yep,
and Chris
Yeah.
was on. Yeah,
yep.
he could play.
He, because of him, they, won. I think they've won 5 national championships with him on the team.
Yeah.
3 with Christopher.
Wow.
Because Chris has 3 rings now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the dads of 4 of our kids
See
that
that
were
tree?
at our last tournament there. We made the kids posters.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like the posters, man.
Yeah, they came out really awesome.
Yeah.
Aiden, Kenny, Isaac, Jorge, Xavier, and then Coach Shane Knox. You remember Shane, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's come back to help coach.
Oh wow.
He's inspires the kids. He's doing well. He's working for Nassau County Parks. Oh, and these are 3 of my brand new kids. Damani, who actually goes to Viscardi School, and then Anaway. He's from Africa, the double amp in the middle there. And then Jonathan, he's actually a senior this year. Found out about us through St. Mary's Hospital. He had surgery last year. And then Kenny and Sebastian.
Wow.
Yep. There's Moose and little Sebastian, we call him, in the middle, and then Jorge.
Wow. And then you were out at Rucker Park.
Yep, Rucker Park. That was a beautiful thing. And this girl, the girl in the black sweatshirt there, her name is Elena. She's 7 years old, and she's already dribbling 2 basketballs. And she is, she's 7, but she has the mental capacity to talk like a 10 or 11-year-old.
Wow.
We just were at the Disability Pride Parade last week, and she was there, and I was asking some people, I'm like, how old do you think she is? They're like, 10, 11, after, seeing her dribble the basketballs and talk to her, and I'm like, nope, 7. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be. She's got an amazing future for herself. And these are the 4 boys that are going to CUNY, and that's my friend Coach Ryan Martin,
Right.
who started the CUNY program, which was not easy, but he did it, and I'm grateful. So there's our moms.
Yeah, for the moms. Shout out to all the powerful moms.
Yep. Don't mess with these Fury moms.
Yeah, this had to be a powerful moment.
Yep.
Wow.
Saving his parents $200,000 if he stays in Illinois for 4 years. It's $50,000 a year to go there. So it's pretty awesome. This is from last week's Disability Pride Parade.
Yeah, you gotta let us know when that is.
Yeah.
So we can come out there, man, and check that
Yeah.
out, man.
Next year, I'll
I'm
let you
excited with what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So many people don't know. I remember the first time when we did a fundraiser. We got the idea. I guess when Long Island Light would play against some varsity basketball teams by putting the varsity players in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a fundraiser competing against your team, or the varsity wheelchair basketball team, and getting an experience, you know, of playing, what it's like to play in a wheelchair, and you realize that those varsity players in a wheelchair are actually disabled. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's a totally different perspective shooting while you're sitting down than it is standing up.
yeah, and pushing the chair and trying to dribble the ball. I mean, and then we did the fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club at the Boys and Girls Club when I was there with you guys, Long Island Lightning and the team, and we put a bunch of guys in the wheelchair that you're dismantled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually spot teams like 20 points before we start, and they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, you'll need those points.
You'll need some more points." No, it was.
By the time they finish, they also gonna need a jacuzzi.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple days off.
Right.
Oh yeah. And I'll never forget this. One time I was playing, lived in Albany. My wife and I, we lived in Albany, and I played for the Albany Patroons in the CBA. And they took us to, I guess the mansion. I think it may have been the mansion. We went up to Governor Cuomo's mansion, and they had a big lobby area, and you know, there was a wheelchair basketball team in it, and they had built a little short court inside, and they put us in some of those chairs. Man, we had a bad time. I mean, they were running by us left and right, and and I don't know if Treese remember this. I up in Albany, I used to do a lot of stuff with the state, you know, while I was with the Patroons, and I got invited to speak at a disabled summer camp, and I went up there. Of course, I did what I normally do, whether I'm talking to able-bodied, right? I talked to them like, hey, like they had a future. Yeah. You know, because at that particular time, the person who was the director of recreation for the state of New York was in a wheelchair.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he was the commissioner.
Remember the guy though from the New Rochelle Boys and Girls Club? And he used to always he was in a wheelchair too, and he ran all the basketball tournaments.
Yeah, he ran all the basketball tournaments during the summertime. You know, he ran some wonderful tournaments, but you know, and then one guy was blind. I mean, he was running one of the state offices, and he was blind, and so it was one of the more prouder moments was that I was the honorary coach of they had a Paralympics in Albany for the state of Albany, and I was the honorary coach. I had to come in in the parade, and I stayed all day to watch all the different sports that the young people were competing in and stuff like that. It was just, and we hadn't had Isaiah, so yeah, you know, but it was a you know, for me to go and speak, you know, to disabled kids, it was like I didn't know that I was gonna have Isaiah, you know, that I was gonna get a super kid, and that we were gonna be super parents.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of funny how that works, huh?
Yeah,
you were somehow introduced to it beforehand.
right. So, Chris, I know you down there. What time does everything start?
It started already.
All right, so I'm gonna let you go and enjoy yourself, man. And hit me when you get back, man. So we can talk about what's going on, what you're doing, and stuff like that.
Awesome, I will. Know. Thank you so much for having us.
Listen, just as an FYI, you'll know that this actually stays on. So, you know, when you're talking about fundraising and doing all the things that you want to do, you can actually have people go to this particular
We'll put this on the website.
Yeah, and
definitely
you'll be able to share it, and
beautiful.
Yeah, and then people can just go to it and you can clip it, you know, pull some stuff out of it. You know, I'm sure send it to the link to the kids. I'm sure they want to see their picture. Oh, that's me. You know, like
they'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Themselves on TV and on the computer.
They'll be like, Coach, you was crying.
Yeah. Everybody knows I'm a big crybaby when it comes to these kids.
Well, tell the family and tell Christopher Jr. and the whole family we said hello.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, and
Love you guys.
Love you too,
man.
And
So-
we have to come see your
Yeah,
team
yeah,
do
we
their
gotta-
thing.
yeah,
So
we-
just keep us posted.
Yeah, send us a schedule.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Definitely. All right, take care, guys. Thank
All
you
right,
so
you
much.
too.
All right, have a
you're
good day.
welcome. Man, that was awesome, man. I guess Chris gonna sign off, and
Are you
Okay.
filling this down?
huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good
bye-bye.
night.
So again, man, that was exciting, man. If you weren't aware, you're aware now of, regarding diversity, the importance of diversity, and then there's a whole, I was talking to somebody, and it's gonna sound weird, but I was talking to somebody about when you talk about God, right? We don't understand. We don't know that there's a seen realm and an unseen realm, right? We only know what we could see, right? We don't ever think that God has another realm that's unseen, and he has, I don't know who he deals with, angels, archangels, whatever he's dealing with in his administration in the unseen realm, right? Well, down here in the seen realm, there are many different realms. I mean, there's many different cultures, ethnic groups, societies, right? They're just many different. And so there's a society that most of us don't even pay attention to. We don't even see, we don't even acknowledge, right? Sometimes you'll see people trying to get, through a door, and a person in wheelchairs trying to get through a door, and people in the hustle and bustle of the day, right? They don't even have the concern that I would hold that door for that person, or see that person come in and hold the door. Then I see, this is what I see sometimes too.
Okay.
I see sometimes too, when a person sees a person in a wheelchair, or, they got their crutches, or even seniors who are, moving along slowly in their wheelchairs, or that's a whole nother population, right, of people in our society that sometimes, right, when I talked about earlier about inclusion and diversity, that they are a part of our society, and we should be aware of them, right? We should be considerate, and particularly seniors. I mean, we all are getting older, right? If you want to see two ends of the
Speak
spectrum,
for yourself.
right? If you want to see two ends of the spectrum, the younger, what we call the younger culture, younger generation, right? And now they got all their faculties and everybody's moving around, right? And then now you've gotten older, right? Now you want people to respect you, right? I said respect people, right? While you're young, pay attention. Respect people while you're young, right? And people will respect you when you get older, right?
Okay.
No, you got to change a culture. A culture starts with a seed, right? You be nice when you're young. You show courtesy, common courtesy, kindness. You show it when you're young, right? And somewhere down the line, it manifests, because you're the one that sows the seed that causes for the growth. You sow the seed, you water it, right? So, again, thank you very much. This morning's special podcast, the New York Rolling Thunder.
We're gonna replay it on Saturday evening.
We're gonna replay it. Yeah, we're gonna replay it on Saturday evening, right? Yeah, it's gonna be on there, right?
I hope so.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it is on there. Yeah, is there a way? I don't know. We need to figure out, is a way we can show it again. It's Saturday morning, and then for people who are not up yet, right? And I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna do a little summary a little bit later on the day, because people may be still asleep and didn't know I was on this morning at 9 o'clock, even though I said it last week. And there was a lot of people on there last week, so a lot of people on there last week. Yep, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock special. And if you haven't seen Ain't Too Proud to Beg,
come on now,
right? Ain't Too Proud the life and times of the Temptations. Make sure you get your ticket in the area that it's in. Check it out. Go to the website, check out their tour schedule, and pick out your date. I say get it in advance because it'll be sold out if you wait too late.
Yeah, they're going to be on today, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock in New Brunswick, and 8 o'clock tonight in New Brunswick, and 2 o'clock tomorrow. Right? I want to say, look, thank you for your support each and every week. I love you guys. God bless you. Right? And I say this each and every day.
What do you say?
If God allows you to wake up today,
tomorrow,
you already woke up today. If he allows you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. God bless you, and I love you.
God bless.
See you next week.
See you next week.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
Vacation is a joke, I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.